Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Money Mondays. I am flying solo today. My name's Paul Johnson. I am the Director of Economic and Community Development here at GP Cog. And today we're going to do a short presentation there's some duplicates here, but my intention of giving you resources of small businesses. And this recording will be available, so you could use it as a link for any small business owners that might come through your front door and ask some questions. You can feel free to please pass this along. So with that, I will start my presentation today. So if you got our email, it said 9 resources for small businesses. Well, I have adjusted that to 16 resources for small businesses today. As I go through this, I did this in a logical order of the different stages of a small business startup. Please know as I go through these, there are lots and lots and lots of resources out there for small businesses. I specifically chose people and resources that I use. So that way I have these emails that I contact. I work with these people on a regular basis. So I am not anybody that's not in this presentation. Doesn't mean I don't endorse them or they don't do a good job. But this is just Paul Johnson's way I navigate the small business world if somebody comes through my front door. So with that, let's jump right into it. Number one, I'm going to call these guys navigators. Navigators, by and large, aren't necessarily the end person that you're going to deal with as a small business. But if you pick up the phone and call them, or probably more relevantly, if you email them at these email addresses, they'll point you in the right direction. So you can assume these navigators are maybe not the person you need, but they are the person willing to do the legwork to find the organization that fits you and what you might need. So here you'll notice, essentially, I put a contact name on this slide deck and an email address. So if you are a small business owner that watches this after the fact, the purpose and I intentionally gave you contact information. I intentionally gave you emails so you can find somebody and you can find somebody quick. Again, these are not all of the navigators in the area. These are navigators that I work with on a regular basis, or I know that there is that you'll have a positive experience with. So real quick, the top one is me, just because here I am. That's what I do. I don't usually help small businesses directly. I get them in the right direction. Coastal Enterprises Incorporated. You may not have heard of them. They're a statewide organization. I won't go into any of these people's, all of their services. But just know if you click on these links to email these people or Google the actual name of the organization, you'll get a good snapshot of what they do. The Maine Black Chamber of Congress, Joshua Brister over there. The Greater Portland Immigrant Welcome Center, Stella Hernandez over there. Again, these people might not actually give you the service you need, but they'll know how to find it. They are navigators. And the last one down there, of course, are your local economic development directors. If you are a small business owner and you're watching this and you don't know who your economic development director is, you can always email number 1 up there, which is me, Paul Johnson, and I can put you in appropriate contact with them. So those are your navigators. Those are the navigators I work with on a regular basis. 5 different navigators. There's lots of services out there. A lot of it's confusing. These people will help you sort through where to go and what the best fit is for you. After navigators, we have business plans. To be clear, a couple of the organizations in the previous slide will help you with your business plan. But if you need a meat potatoes from scratch business plan, you have the Small Business Development Center, which is located right at USM in Portland. But I believe they do all of their work over Zoom. Ann Lancaster is a contact over there that I have had coffee with on 1 or 2 occasions. We email on a quasi-regular basis. She's incredibly helpful. I believe the Small Business Development Center will make you go through an intake form, but I'm going to give you a name anyways, because I know people like names and be able to contact somebody. So if you contact Ann, she might redirect you, but at least you will get somebody that can answer your questions quickly. And then there is SCORE Maine. SCORE is made up of lots of retirees and former business owners and CEOs that will help you through the business plan process. I will admit I have more experience with Maine Small Business Development Center. I utilized SCORE myself several years ago as a business owner myself. I don't have somebody in SCORE that I would direct you to, so I did link your intake form for SCORE. If you're looking for help on the business plan, again, it doesn't hurt to contact both of these agencies. They're both very busy. That way, whoever gets back to you or one of them might be a better fit. And again, the previous organizations in the previous slide, a couple of those guys will also help you with your business plan. So now we have a navigator, we have business plan, and let's say we need funding. Here are some options for funding. Now, again, I will repeat that these are personal contacts of mine, people I've worked with. I'm a nonprofit organization. I do not get any money for these shout outs for these banks. But these are two of the banks that I use the most, that I've closed the most deals with, that are the easiest to work with far and away, are Norway Savings Bank and Bangor Savings Bank. I even gave you a name of loan officers in there that are gladly willing to help you. And also, in addition to Dana and Helen at those two banks, it's important to realize they know how to navigate the nonprofit world. So they know how to tap into my organization. They know how to tap into the Finance Authority of Maine. They know how to tap into CEI. So they will help you navigate the financial landscape. If you need some funding from a bank, but the bank isn't quite comfortable giving you all of the money you need, these banks will help you find where to fill in the gaps, so to speak. I will give an honorable mention to Gorham Savings Bank, now known as Maine Community Bank. I've not closed a lot of deals with Gorham Savings Bank. That is why they're not on here. So I do not have a regular contact with them. But every time I do touch Gorham Savings Bank or Maine Community Bank, they are incredibly helpful and they do know their stuff. But far and away, from the $4 million I've gotten out the door the last couple of years, my bank partner, the people I've partnered with the most are Norway Savings Bank and Bangor Savings Bank. From there, for funding, if you're a small business owner and you need some funding, I would start with a bank. And then if a bank does their job, they will connect you to these other organizations if you need them. There's the Finance Authority of Maine. Matt Lindquist is my contact information over my contact. He's also the senior loan officer at the Finance Authority of Maine. That's his direct email. So if you have any questions, you can always email Matt directly. And then below that, you have some places that were already mentioned, which is me, GPCOG, CEI, which was Coastal Enterprise in the previous section. If your business is located in Portland, there's a division of the city of Portland called the Portland Development Corporation, which also loans out money. Again, all of these organizations on number 10 and on number 11, typically we get brought in for bigger deals with a bank. So if you have a small funding opportunity, let's say you need $50,000 or less, the places on number 10 and number 11 could loan you all of that money. But a lot of times the first thing we'll ask you is, did you try to go to a bank? So again, if you're a small business owner watching this video, I suggest going to a bank first, one of those two at the top, and knowing that you may interact with us as the financing process gets underway. And of course, again, I put your local economic development directors. Lots of towns and municipalities in Maine might have small grants or small loan programs for business improvements. I know Freeport does. I know Gorham does. I believe South Portland does. Portland always has some sort of some different programs going on. So I would always recommend you to reach out to your local economic development director, because there might be $10, $15, $20,000 in small little programs that fit your needs that you might not even know exists. And again, if you're watching this and you don't know who your economic development director is, you can always reach out directly to me and I can make an introduction. So we have our navigators first. Those are the people that don't quite do everything, but they know how to find things for you. Number two, hey, if you need a business plan, those are the two big boys for the business plans. Number three, when you find yourself into funding, here are some resources for your funding. And lastly, from funding, if you find yourself in a growth stage, if you find yourself in, we want to make the next step, or we have identified an industry that we know that we're in and we need connections, here are 4 different resources for you. I won't go into every single one. I've had little presentations on each one of these on the board. But the good news is, if you look at those first 3, I've given you a name and I've given you an email address. So if you want to reach out to somebody and know they will get back to you, these people will get back to you. Part of a criteria to be in today's presentation is I know the people I've listed will get back to you, which is always very nice. But these organizations range from equity investing, some loans, some grants, helping you understand how to get government contracts, helping you understand how to sell your product overseas, helping you in a specific industry, if you're in agriculture or you're in forestry or you're in the food industry. All of these places have very specific honed in technical support, or excuse me, technical assistance for those activities. And again, those are the names for each one of the organizations. And number 16 is a little shout out. That's Maine Business Answers. My contact over there has turned over, so I don't have a contact. But I do know that this email is pretty responsive. Maine Business Answers is run by the Maine Department of Economic and Community Development. So you are emailing the state of Maine when you email Maine Business Answers. I could have put them in a navigator situation as well, but Maine Business Answers has some really nice curated data in similar resources to what I'm doing for you today. They will help point you in the right direction. So if you want to email the state directly, Maine Business Answers at maine.gov typically is quite responsive. And if your company is not necessarily just in the Portland area, but you're dealing with something that's a little bit more statewide, they might be a good starting point for you once you're in the growth stage or once you're up and running. So there you have it. Those are 16 resources. I think it's actually a little bit more than 16 resources broken down by navigator, business plan, funding, and growth. So again, I said it at the top, but these are all people I work with. These are people I know will get back to you. I purposely called out people. So it's a one-stop shop for you. Please use this video that will be on our YouTube site. Also, of course, we email it to you. You can send this right to other small business owners that come through your door and say, hey, here's a 10-minute presentation on some resources out there for you. Again, I know this is not all of them, but these are the people that I work with and I know are going to get back to you. So with that, I am going to stop sharing. And I wish everybody a happy week. Thank you for stopping in on Money Mondays. And Belinda will be back next week, and I will as well. So the team, the gang will be back. And everybody have a great week. Thank you, everybody.